All right, traders. Hey, welcome on back this Tuesday afternoon. I keep thinking today's Wednesday, right, Rich? This Tuesday afternoon, October 7th. Great to have all of us still here. Otherwise, live inside our trading room. We got Margaret still joining us here. Deborah was just working with Albert earlier. Just great to see him once again. Grant, Tim. So I was chatting with a few of us actually before. Dave, Mike, Barbara. I got Lady here joining us. Great to have all of us here just here in chat. So whether you're a student of ours or on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc., already got a show in here right out the gate. And I swear if this stock slingshots right now as we do this meeting, I'll be so ticked off. I tell you what, I don't trade when I do this meeting. You can't juggle 18 bowling pins in the air while you're riding your unicycle, maybe unless if you're Cirque du Soleil. The point being is that just a moment ago, I wrote this to all of our students and members alike inside our trading room. Literally the last comment just I wrote to you. Albert and I were looking for Poet to retest for 740 to 750 area for a bounce. Wrote that to you just about 4 minutes ago, right? That was in our one-on-one coaching session just earlier. I wrote that to you. The playbook was given, and now this damn thing, timely enough, spiked right down to 740, went under and over 740 and 750. I don't leave open orders out there. It would have been nice to have seen catch the perfect. Listen, bad timing, at least with me doing this meeting. For any of our students, though, did anyone take this trade just now? Anyone just jump in on this Poet stock right from that 740, 750 I chatted to you? I mean, this is taking candy from a kid. This was as easy as could be. So, some quick money to begin on this stock. It made a great push up just going into the afternoon. We really didn't have our focus on this stock in the morning hours. So that's where just before Rich was the first of the punch on this. And I'm just kind of reposting some comments from the chat earlier. I said Albert and I see big resistance at 8. Shook down from there. Looking for the bounce from 740 to 750. And now at this point, I don't mind just putting this on our watch list here just to begin. Just interesting stock, Poet. We've traded this one in the past though too, so not even just today's move. But yeah, I mean, just looking at the daily chart here, look at this. It's like a Fausto flag breaking out right now on the daily chart. Higher lows, retesting just area of resistance here put together. Probably going to take a few days for this area to solidify as cleaner resistance than the pop afterwards. So they're just nice move back up. But yeah, for right now, we'll add the Poet stock. Poet Technologies. All right, I'm interested. Let's see what this company does. I have no idea what this company does. You'd figure maybe it would say biotherapeutic company, pharma. You would see like AI, technologies. That could be literally anything. So right here on the bottom right, it's a design and a development company offering high-speed optical engines, light source products. A bunch of words put together that I don't know anything about. What the heck? Hyperscale data centers. I know about that. Okay, so this seems to be, if not an AI data center play, then maybe a nuclear play or maybe even quantum. It'd just be nice if they said the word nuclear. It'd be nice if they just said the word quantum. Right? Give me something like that. I see AI optical data and data centers. So that's good enough. We'll take that, I guess, right? Well, yeah, for right now, interesting stock, good order book, good spread. That's the most important part for this trade. So easily going to put it on our watch list there to begin. A stock that we are easily going to move on from, that we moved on from hours ago. The GLTO stock, Gelato, as Fausto pointed it out earlier, Gelato. It's a nice name. This ended up breaking out early in the morning. One of those, casino stocks, early hours. It popped, it dropped. If anyone here feels like they're missing out on opportunities since this popped at 6 in the morning without them, you kind of have a casino mentality. And I don't want to start fights. I don't mean to say that in a rude way, but in pre-market trading, you don't have your stop orders. You can't use your risk management tools that you feel much better with during regular hours, right? Shit, if this pop happened during regular hours, at least it's way more manageable. Now, on top of that, though, it's just to say this stock had a horrible order book, very thinly traded. So where I told you yesterday, point blank, that, coming off the SPRB stock, that, hey, that was such a crazy stock itself, casino stock. Yeah, absolutely. But that unlocks the door for a lot of other stocks to make a good move and a move that will trade, a stock that has better liquidity. The SOPA stock yesterday was exactly that. Like a couple of handfuls of students nailed this trade yesterday with us in the afternoon. That's exactly what we're talking about here. Now, though, going back to GLTO, we got to have a line. We got to have like, a line in the sand where we say, you know what, this is just way too chaotic. You could do this on one share, 10 share, have some fun. Never wrong doing that, right? It never hurts to have a little responsible fun. In fact, I was working with Albert C earlier. Albert T, one of our members here, killed it on the SPRB stock, but he was trading 25 shares. It was just really small, and that's how you do it. That's the right way to go about it. So, I don't want to say you can't have fun on these stocks, but if you're gonna take a loss and be like, why did I lose on that? Well, it's like you're trying to ski down the double diamond slope and you're really just a beginner skier. So, you got to put yourself in a good trading environment. That's the key. So, at least for now, hey, going down the gainer side here. The stock is still up 245%, but it's got a great order book. It made a really nice pre market push earlier today. The stock TMQ made a really nice pre-market move. So this is a very tradable stock by all accounts. And just a clean breakout off these highs early on, a little shake, but it held it as support, moved up for about 50 cents. After the open, it pulled back. Now it's coming back on up though. So normally I would do away from a stock like this for the only reason that we don't normally see a stock continue back up like this going into the afternoon after it drops off as much. Typically it exhausts out. What the hell company even is this? Trilogy Metals. There might be some IPO. Gotta be. I mean, breaking highs since 2013, 2012. So at least as far as I could see, all-time highs. So that definitely helps the cause. But yeah, for right now, we got to add this trade, put it back on our watch list. The trend that we're seeing. Great order book. What's the float? Trade Station doesn't show me the float. Give me a moment here, folks. Let's find out. It's proving itself here to us right now for sure. Float 101 million. Okay, fair. Fair. That's not the SPRB stock, right? Remember, SPRB had the 500,000. What's GLTO, just for reference? What's GLTO? 1.2. So, the one that we like, the TMQ, it's about 100 times more float compared to the crazy one. So, yeah, we'll add this here. ZMB, dead. COCH, dead. CISS had a good pop earlier today. Just want to bring that up. Like, nice little move early in the morning. But again, these stocks are typically low float. So after they lose their bullish momentum, any sort of upward trajectory, they're going to come back down as fast as they had popped. The SPRB trade, likely going to see the same thing happen on that. I know that there's been some hype, some people talking about the drug approval online from FDA. We got easier fish to fry here. PRHI might be just that. It is bouncing back up right now. It's not nearly as close to the regular hours high of the day. So that part I really don't like. It is pushing back up a little bit. Maybe I'll come back to that if it wants to make another good move. NXXT. Let me actually go back to that. This one wasn't looking half bad. Order book checks out okay. Want to see it hold higher lows from here, try and sling back up to break a new high, go up to 3. Ideally, 3 would be a good target on this stock here. But, for now, I don't mind adding it. Stock here. Jack up the volume filter while I'm at it also. All right. Hey, real quick, you guys hear anything right now? You guys hear any noise? Any crazy keyboard noise right now? Yeah, I didn't think so. Finally got my new keyboard here and a new mouse, hooked it up, wireless and silent, quiet. No more typewriter here for me. How about that? CCCX, Churchill Capital Corp X, is pop here just now. Thinner book. Don't really have a need to follow that type of order book for right now. Got some pretty good trades already to work with. LAR potentially. Keep this in mind as far as a swing trade. Hive having a pretty good day today. Nice swing trade from yesterday. Oh, HIMS is going up. HIMS, HIMZ otherwise. So a little expensive, but you got the ETF here to try and trade off of as well. Wouldn't shock me if this tries to refill the gap here. Refill is in. It spiked up the same day and came back down to fill the gap there. Wouldn't shock me if this tries to come back up though towards 63s. I don't mind adding this. Hims. You got the ETF if you want to trade cheaper. RR. This has been a great stock recently as a swing trade. A little flat right now. Bitcoin's been dropping off a little bit today. How about that? So Bitcoin from 125,000, a dart all the way down to 120. So with that, I mean, hey, U.S. equities dropping off today too, right? But Bitcoin's taken a bit of a drop now at this point, heading into this afternoon, and that could easily continue into tomorrow morning, folks. So just with that, IBIT's taking a drop right now, symmetrical drop pretty much. But the SBIT goes inverse. So there are tickers that will inversely trade to Bitcoin. And, for instance, MSTR, MicroStrategy stock. We're going to get over to the loser side in just a bit. We're going to add this right now. It's a short. But you got an inverse trade to this stock, and you would be able to long that as the MSTR equity drops off with Bitcoin. So MSTZ, we'll find some more here in just a bit, I'm sure. Sox S, cheaper one, a little slow. This one's too slow. IVVD, little stock popping up right there. It's a stock. Apps, Orbis. When is Iron ever going to back off? I mean, with the whole market down today and with Bitcoin dropping off like an anvil right now, Iron is just like super glue. This thing is just as strong as any stock I've ever seen. So, yep, got to add it. SoFi also very strong. Rigetti also very strong. I mean, this thing won't back off either, seemingly. Had a great short on one of the other quantum trades, but this thing definitely is not that. Let's hop over to the loser side right now, though, seeing if there's anything looking just as good, if not better. Volume filter is good. All right, let's check. Probably just skim through this here rather fast. BQ, can't short this thing. This thing, like a Christmas tree. Peloton down big. Maybe you could short this. A little slow, but I mean, I don't know if there's bad news out on Peloton. This thing coming right back on down here. Not a surprise. The company itself definitely stinks. They've had a bad long-term chart for a while, so really I shouldn't have said that with like some sort of surprising undertone. But 717 big support this wick, then much more back from last year. It's possible we could see like a 20-cent pullback down towards there. Wouldn't be a bad short trade if you catch it from this stage. I'd rather wait to see that support level break, though, for a new leg down. Don't have like a necessity to put that on our list. Lucid dropping off also. I mean, if you can get the shares to short it, wouldn't be a bad thought. Pony, let's just kind of pick the creme de la creme, the best of the best when it comes to these drops here heading into the afternoon. Probably look at some more name brand stocks too if they're down enough. They're down enough, maybe. Caesars, casino. Yeah, some of the casino stocks got hit from last week, didn't they? Yeah, Caesars, MGM got hit pretty bad from last week too. The Caesars trade looked interesting though. DraftKings got beat up bad with that in mind also. Yeah, they're down almost 5%. Not near the lows enough for today. What's the other one? I think SRAD was another one. Out of those, I would say Caesars looks the best. DraftKings, if it was closer to the lows, I would add that there too. But I don't mind adding Caesars as a potential short. RKT, a little flat. Coinbase, obviously, potentially going with the market, but with Bitcoin also. This is actually a pretty strong move here right now. Coinbase actually holding its own right now across the afternoon, especially comparative to IBIT and especially comparative to like an MSTR type of stock. Robinhood's holding up too. It's still positive on the day. Nvidia flat. Tesla's down, dropping off a lot right here. Yeah, so Tesla came out with news that their new EV just came out. They just launched their new EV. And basically, it's kind of a if and then situation. If it breaks over 450, then I'd imagine that we're going to start seeing a pretty good squeeze upward. This held 450 like a rock, and then it came right back down. It broke the last dip here and just dropped off like a rock. So TSLS, I think, right? This goes inverse to the Tesla stock. I'll put Tesla on our list as a short. I'll put the TSLS trade as a long if Tesla keeps dropping off there. Don't mind doing that. A little gap to fill here, maybe up to 554. All right, here, folks. Let me just check out some chat here from all of our students and members before we finish up. Erica, how about that? In at 28 out of 32 on the BQ trade. Yeah, that was such a crazy mover from earlier. Anytime you see a stock up this much in such a short amount of time, it's not to say it's going to drop the same day like this. It can, and this did. But typically, it's like what makes the gainers list one day will make the losers list the next. So these stocks, the BQ, the SPRB, they are not swing trades. You want to get in, you want to get out. So you did a great job on that move there, Erica. Roberto asking, sorry to ask why 740 support level for Poet. Bookmap CVP, Roberto. Bookmap CVP. If you check the CVP on Bookmap, you'll basically see that area 740, 750. TMQ supposedly Trump and the government are investing in. Yeah, but isn't that what they said about CRML? Isn't that what they said with the stock CRML, that Trump and the government was supposedly gonna take a stake in them, and then he basically denied that yesterday. Um, and I'm not saying Trump's doing this. I'm just saying that there is so much freaking manipulation out there in this market. There's a friend of a friend that's like, hey, they know something on the inside, and they probably loaded up on CRML puts the moment before Trump announced that, and they made millions on that type of move. Tom, on the TMQ, probably the same thing. They probably knew that some rumor would be coming out that through some blog site from someone that lives in their parents' basement, like, Trump maybe potentially is going to do a stake in this company, and oh my god, it's like that people are collecting on that, right? Right now, for us as traders, you know, you could take the gamble and swing trade this because if the rumor is true, it's going to keep going up. This provides great volatility for us, though, either way. Doesn't matter, up or down. I mean, even with the CRML, eventually this will have its day in the sun again. I'm sure eventually this will go back up to an 11 or 12, be a great day trade for us, right? So at the very least, I like the fact that there's rumors. It promotes volatility. It promotes more eyeballs on the stock. So, I mean, the thing's up 240% for a reason. But remember, folks, you're kind of putting your money on a rumor, and who knows what happens later on this evening, even in the after hours. Imagine it's during the after hours where you can't get out and you're at like your dinner table ripping your hair out like, oh my god, Trump said he's not going to invest in TMQ, it's going to open up down 50% tomorrow morning. So these are day trades mainly. You could turn a day trade into a swing trade over time. There is a methodology behind doing that. And I don't say this to Tom or Debbie or Erica or Roberto here. They're all students of ours. They know. Keep in mind, if you're on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube right now, this is all stuff that we take time to teach in our curriculum, our phase 1, 2, and 3 classes. That's our entire stock trading curriculum. And as far as taking a day trade to a swing trade, hey, if you have a good lead on the position already, well, that's the first step. Hey, can you scale some out in terms of size? Because you really shouldn't be trading the same size on a day trade as you would on a swing. So, there is a process behind going about that. And, we'll see what the stock brings us here heading into the afternoon time for sure. We like the stock still. It's on our list. Recent update on TMQ is Trump approved the permits for the Ambler Access Project in Alaska. That's probably where NAK is getting some good movement too, because I thought this stock worked with the Alaskan pipeline. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. You said Alaska. That's the first thing that popped up in my tiny brain of mine. So I'm just pointing out NAK has been a great swing trade there too. A lot of these rare earth and mineral and metal stocks at that, huge winners over the last couple months. Leda, as always, appreciate you, love you, as always, joining us on YouTube. All right, folks, last call here. Let me know if there's anything else you'd want me to look at here, check out before we finish. I will let you know here from my side, at least. We're going to look at Benzinga Pro. I got a couple stocks making a small move up right now. Rigetti's not backing off, it seems. How is the ETF $309? RGTX is $309 per share. Like, what is the point of trading these ETFs if they're 10 times more expensive? 8 to 10 times more expensive, right? 7, 8, whatever. It's just a lot. Typically, you want to trade the ETF because it's cheaper. I don't mind trading the stock over the ETF if it's, less active, not as much volume. So that's where the RGTX just funny seeing that $309. What the heck? All right, let's go back to the other trades though. CISS, this isn't going anywhere. Pass on that. SLRX, same deal. Not really doing much right now on that. COCH is like kind of sticking here, just kind of lingering. So maybe if this wants to move up more when we're back on the mic in about 15 or so minutes, we could put this on our side list. Wouldn't mind that. CIFR, I got this also for my scans here on Benzinga. It's going up maybe with the iron trade. Riot's having a good move back up right now. Like these are all like tradable stocks that aren't up as much that you could put on your B list, your side list. This ASTS trade though, I could put on the main one there. AST Space Mobile, it's just at all-time highs, and it's actually like a triple top pretty much right there from yesterday's high of the day. That's looking pretty good actually. That's looking actually really clean. All right, I'm going to add the ASTS, and I'm going to slip this NAK on our watch list here too. It's just tradable, very low risk. It's up a lot, so it meets the criteria for what we look for on the gainer side. So we got the NAK and then the ASTS. Can't say we don't come with a little variety here, folks. We got an expensive stock, we got a cheap stock, we got a super volatile stock, we got a super slow stock. So we bring the variety here, don't we? From Suresh, what process is used to come up with the watch list? I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that the watch list is based on opinion, right? It's not like we put the watch list through a algorithm, a program, and it spits out like just the perfect result. So with Fausto's 36 plus years of trading, there's opinion with him, right? There are certain things from his experience he has opinion on and anticipations about. Same with me. So that's where I just want to say that umbrella comment to begin. Like I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that. However, that process is largely taught in our phase one stock course where we go through spread, we go through volume criteria. For instance, NAK is trading millions upon millions upon millions of shares right now. You want these stocks to be doing that right now pretty much. For anything trading like 200,000 shares, 500,000 shares, there's a reason it's trading that tiny minuscule volume at this point in the day already. So, volume is a big part of it, Suresh. Trend. Hey, this NAK stock isn't number one on our watch list, but the reason I put it on our list, well, it's low risk, but it is inching up since the afternoon. You can't say it's not. So in hopes of this trying to go back up to 2, it's not far-fetched. Now, a stock like ASTS is breaking all-time highs and it's a triple top, a little bit more volatile. This is how we would kind of categorize a category 5 stock in our training. Category 5, think of hurricanes, category 1, 2, 3, 4. So, we teach a lot of this, all of this, in fact, in our main curriculum, the phase 1 course. So if you're interested in just learning more about that, just talk to your education advisor. I believe that's John Romano. He's like the intermediary between you and myself, you and Fausto above all else, and he'll be able to discuss the program here with you. All right, folks. Hey, I'll tell you what, Chuck. Yeah, we like that ASTS trade for sure. Made the cut there. So, folks, hey, we'll be back on in just about 10 or so minutes live inside our trading room. Again, if you're on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc., be a friend, tell a friend. Look to spread the good word that we provide here at Cyber Trading. That's just following the big orders out there on level 3 and on level 4. So hit the follow and subscribe button down below. At Cyber Trading U is our handle. Otherwise, if you wanted to join us just day to day inside our live trading room, just go right down to the link scrolling down below on the bottom there in blue. You'll see it there coming up in 3, 2, 1, ctu.co/trial. Otherwise, hey, how about this? If you're fancy with your phone, fancy with your camera, you can actually scan that QR code there. How about that? I'll leave you off on that, actually, just so you have time to scan that QR code. Join us if you're on social. But for Kathleen later right now, so Deborah, Thomas, Suresh, Chuck, again, just stay tuned. We'll be back on in just a moment.